Don't forget, bitches, rebuke the bare minimum. That's my first and last time saying it. Rebuke the bare minimum. YouTube, what's up, baby? It's your favorite antisocial extrovert, your favorite awkward black boy Blake, mother loving Dupree, back at it again with another installment of the Black Queer Classroom's album review series. And today we are reviewing Kehlani'S While We Wait Part 2. Kehlani has given us 2 albums in less than 6 months. Talk about short attention spans and fulfilling those desires of this new generation. I love it. I'm here for it. I think all day. Now, if for those of you who don't know, this is a sequel to her original While We Wait album, which came out in 2019. Y'all, this was 5 years ago. The sequel to a project from 5 years ago. And before I listened, I was very excited, kind of nervous because I wasn't a big fan of her most recent drop. Not her, their most recent drop, Crash. Sonically, it just felt a little bit too all over the place for me. And if I was going to give a review, it probably wouldn't be the best one. But I do like Kehlani as a representative in LGBTQ media, as a representative for freeing a lot of underrepresented and often oppressed nations at the moment. Don't want to get my page deleted. And I recently just did a review on Kehlani'S Tiny Desk, and it was fire. So I've been listening to Kehlani since I was about maybe like 15, 14. When did was it In Case We Die? No, not that was Tinashe. Kehlani'S first mixtape. I can't remember the name at the moment, but that definitely was the shit. Like, In Words, Unconditional, the record she had with Chance the Rapper, like The Way, like, oh, nothing beats Kehlani and Jacquees's collabs back in the day. Like, that was a great time to be a teenager, yo. Like, effing with you and just every man wants a dream, like Jada in her prime. 1990s fine. Like, Kehlani was that girl back in the day. And now Kehlani is just whatever they want to be, and they do that to the fullest. I know Kehlani's on tour right now. Kehlani has received a little bit of negative press for the situation with their baby father, but they're not really letting that stop them as far as the tour and the music dropping, because I did not see a While We Wait Part 2 coming, and I'm so excited to review it. So if you're new to my channel, welcome to the Diary of Dupree, where I review music and everything else entertainment. I give grades based on your faves, performances, and their music, so they may get an A for today, F for later, and the big thing that they want to get out of me is an add to the library, baby. So sit back, relax, grab a snack, tell your little whatever thing, you'll be right back. But before you do any of that, make sure you take some time before this video really gets rolling. Look in the mirror and remind yourself, yeah, I am that. Whatever that is that you want to be, whether it be a toaster, Honda Civic, a ceiling fan, a price tag, be that to the fullest, because you already that. So stop tripping, bitch. You got this, period. Like, comment, subscribe, welcome to my page. Let's get into the things. So one of y'all, your boy got notes, because I went through every single track and gave great detailed reviews, okay? So like I said, get comfy, because you're gonna be here for a minute, but Kehlani deserves it. I feel like Kehlani is one of those artists, they have put in the work. They, forgive me if I misgender Kehlani throughout this video, it's not intentional, but they have put out like 4 albums within the last 5 years, going on a couple tours, had a baby, done a lot, came out the closet. So it's been a lot since While We Wait Part 2 has debuted. So let's get into the first track. The intro track feels like a smooth but funky pickup, exactly from where we left off as listeners with the last track on Part 1's outro track, Love Language. Difference in BPMs, of course, but sonically, it's almost like they were recorded in the same era. I'm interested, were these songs recorded? Well, no, they couldn't have been, because we got like Lucky Day, who was back out back then. Maybe she just saw the anticipation of Lucky Day 5 years ago and put them on a record and just waited 5 years to release it. But I doubt it. But it feels like sonically she was in the same mind frame or space back then as she was now. It's just a growth from it. But it's crazy to think at this point in Kehlani's year, 5 years ago, when she first dropped the first While We Wait, Kehlani wasn't even out of the closet yet. Like, we knew Kehlani was one of the girls, but we didn't know that Kehlani was one of the girls, like gay. Like, all girls like little girls. All girls kiss girls at some point in time in their life. But this one is living for the girls every day of their life. So I love that for her. And I'm starting to really notice the more I listen to this album and her most recent album, or their most recent album. Once again, I'm sorry. Them being out and about and just loving who they are to the fullest and being non-binary and being a proud lesbian. I'm starting to see that impact on the music, and it's just coming from a more authentic place. Like, hearing Kehlani sing about niggas back in the day, great for me as a teenager, but now I can see right through it. Like, girl, you damn near a soft stud, and I'm not mad at it. Go crazy, because I'm a soft queen myself, period. This track, the intro track, made me realize that Kehlani and Keisha Cole are vocally related. Like, they definitely are vocal cousins. Kehlani, Keisha Cole, and Justin Bieber could definitely all get in the booth, and I would be so blind to who is singing whose part. And I would actually love to see that. But it's definitely a two-step record. Like, the whole album is giving R&B, you and your middle-aged auntie going on a night out, drinks, two-stepping on an all-white party cruise. Like, that is what this album is definitely giving, and I'm definitely adding it for sure. On to this track, second track, When He's Not There, featuring Lucky Daye. This would definitely get them podcast niggas upset, because it is a record about, first off, somebody who was born a woman, taking time out of another woman's relationship with her man to be fulfilled by another woman. And it's also about Lucky Daye being a side nigga. And I just want to say, if this record was to be reversed, like if this was me singing about taking somebody's man and the person I'm taking is a female, oh, y'all would be up in shambles. It would definitely get all the negative press to boost my sales. Because as y'all know, it's only hot when girls do it, and nobody cares when girls do it. But when a boy comes out as gay and is open about his sexuality, oh, call the Christians, lock them up. This is like a bisexual version of My Little Secret. It's a cheating anthem. It's a cheating anthem. Okay? Just because Kehlani has a vagina and the person she messing with has a vagina, that person is still in a relationship with another man, is still cheating. So I'm going to call it the bisexual My Little Secret anthem, which I just know if this was a man singing about a man again, the world would be in shambles, period. But I do like Lucky and Kehlani's voices. They blend very well. Neither person outdid the other when it came to lyricism or vocally, and it was like a perfect match. So it's definitely getting an ad from me. On to the third track, Close Off. First off, Quinn's tone reminds me of water. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but Quinn's tone reminds me of Michelle Williams in a real way. Like, they both have watery tones, like a touch of rasp, but just a smooth execution. I love it. This record feels like I'm intruding on a lesbian film on Stud Night of Fashion. It does. It feels like I should not be listening to the record. It feels like y'all was meant to keep this in the votes, and y'all probably got to take to this somewhere, and that's none of my business. It's a nice slow jam for me, but I'm really not feeling it, so I'm just gonna add it. I'm not gonna add it, but it's not an F. It's a passing grade, but it's nothing for me. We can move on to the fourth track, Single, Single Baby. And I must say, 4 tracks in this album is sonically way more cohesive than Kehlani's most recent album, Crash. And I said that in the beginning, and I'm saying it again, because it just sounds like what I grew up knowing Kehlani to be, which is R&B with some pop influence, like an urban pop R&B West Coast native who just didn't give a fuck from the get-go, but now really doesn't give a fuck. And her there not giving an F, it ages like fine wine. And I just love seeing Kehlani's growth, period. And this track samples Brandy sitting up in my room, and just like Kehlani is in the song, we all sit up in our rooms thinking about how alone our ass is gonna be, because we don't take nothing seriously. We gonna be some alone bitches, some alone dogs, because we all want to partake in 20 versus 1s. We all want a nigga with $50,000 straight out the gate just to get to you, and we all want the baddest bitch to cook, clean, and wash our own asses. Like, it's just, it took me there. So I'm gonna add it. Track number 5. No Better, featuring Lil Mo and Vince Staples, baby. With Lil Mo's co-sign in the beginning and the sample for her all-classic Official, this is definitely an ode to the early 2000s, and it gives listeners a glimpse of what Kehlani's music might be like if she was 10 to 20 years older and came out in the early 2000s, and that would have ate, especially if Kehlani was to be an openly queer artist in the early 2000s. Like, the records they would have broken and the doors would have opened had they just come out of their mama's coochie at an earlier time. But hey, I digress. Vince Staples' verse was cool, but it really wasn't nothing memorable for me. Like I could have lived without it. Like it really didn't add or take away from the song. You know, it's definitely my favorite track on the album so far. Like I definitely fucked with No Better. I love Lil Mo and I love Kehlani, so I liked it a lot. On to 6-track Border. Feels like the album's first ballad. You know, I live for the dreamy lyrics of just being with your boo and on a road trip and away from the bullshit. And in this case, this would be out of California for Kehlani. It would be out of Chicago for me. You know, I just find the Chicago dating scene, especially if you black and gay, to be like going to Ross and expecting to see something of luxury. You're not going to see it. You're not going to see anything of sustenance. You may find a real clean pair of shoes after searching for days at 45 different locations. So it's all about having perseverance. But I could definitely use a man and a road trip ASAP, preferably at the same time. It's an ad for me. Good job, Kehlani. On to track number 7, Form of You featuring Child of Finesse. Now the album pace wise has started to slow down, but I'm not mad. You know, this track makes me feel like I'm in a black owned coffee shop on a rainy day, reminding myself to rebuke the bare minimum. Ladies, remember, gentlemen too, queens, kings, ladies, thems, toasters, and Honda Civics. Don't forget, bitches, rebuke the bare minimum. That's my first and last time saying it. Rebuke the bare minimum. And Kehlani, bitch, I hate you. Because why does this track got me wanting to test my little booth? And I'm not supposed to be talking to him because I'm rebuking the bare minimum. Right. But damn it, your music got me wanting to break my celibacy, Miss Kehlani. I can't even say Miss Curl no more because that's not how you going. That's not how you rocking no more. But I will say the pianist on this record is amazing and it's definitely getting an ad for sure. On to track number 8, Let Me Down Interlude. Sonically and lyrically, this is the singer's most vulnerable time on the whole record. Love it. Repeating, Don't Let Me Down Again. It's the chorus. It makes me feel like a part 2 to Letter, which was on Kehlani's debut album. And that is definitely one of the saddest songs I've ever heard in my entire life. And this feels like a strong runner up as far as Kehlani's catalog and sad, songy records. It's a beautiful record, but it's not going to get out from me just because I'm not trying to have a bunch of sad energy in my life right now. But girl, you catch me on one of my Mary J. Blige, I'm going down moments. I might play this record for you, but like I said, this album really doesn't have bad records for me. 9th track, Around. I love the airiness of this song. It feels like a night out with your baby after the first couple of dates and y'all really shedding the skin and like farting in front of each other and like, you know, popping toes and shit. It's an ad for sure, and I definitely could have seen John Legend on this record. You know, sometimes you need a little boo that don't have to put on a performance to keep their heart open. You know what I'm saying? Like, one of the best things I appreciate about the relationship I have with my real loved ones is that I could just be in a room, be dead silent, and we're both having a ball. Like, we can just appreciate each other's auras and energy, and there's no beef, there's no issues. Like, we don't even have to talk, just be around, just be there. Just be there. That's all I need. And it's definitely getting an ad for sure. On to track number 10, Ballin', featuring First Life. This was actually the first track where I wasn't stimulated at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, it didn't captivate me from a positive or negative standpoint. And I could see them as one of those edit songs, but it's not really getting an ad for me. And I could say the same for the 11th track, First Life. Same exact thing. You know, these 2 tracks really didn't stimulate me. They really didn't catch my attention like that. But not bad records, just not captivating enough for me. You know, they felt like fillers, and there's no shade. 12th track, Slow Dance featuring Dixon, baby. Now this is really where I wanted to 2-step for real. You know, I was really excited to see this collab when I saw that the album was coming out because I love Dixon and he did not disappoint, and the track did not disappoint. Overall, sonically, the track reminds me of like 2012 to 2015 SoundCloud Link and skating video compilations R&B. Like, I love Dixon's voice on the background and on this feature. You know, this was my second favorite track on the album, and some days it might be my first depending on my mood, and it definitely got an add to the library. 13th track, 8th remix featuring Flow. Period. Flow. Period. I love them girls, and they made me like this record even more, for real. You know, I never realized how similar their music is to Kehlani's, and I never realized how well they layer and harmonize, very similar to each other when it comes to both aspects. You know, I couldn't tell who was who sometimes in this record, and I mean that in the best way possible. This reminds me of some of Aaliyah's later work on her album, sonically. Like, this reminds me of like the Aaliyah self-titled album. Like, sonically, she would have made some of these choices, and definitely off the topic, she would have made some of these choices. So I fucks with it heavy, and it definitely went an ad. And as we know, the 14th track is Stay After Hours. It's just a remix of that. And y'all know I really don't review singles like that when it comes to these album reviews. But overall, I'm definitely seeing the impact of Kehlani's growth as a person, and the growth and the changes that they made in their personal life in this album way more clearly and laid out than I saw in Crash. Crash felt like a crash. Maybe that was the singer's intentions, but this feels like the perfect sequel to a different era in Kehlani's life. Post giving birth, post relationships, post coming out, post, being who they truly are as far as gender. And I fuck with it. Like, I like the album a lot, and I'm not mad at it at all. It's definitely getting an A for today. A very rare occasion out of me. And I'm not the biggest fan of anybody, but I do like Kehlani's work, and I need to stop playing. And I missed Kehlani when they came to Chicago. So if you come back and you see this video, look her brother up. What's up? But I hope you all enjoyed this YouTube review of Kehlani's While We Wait Part 2. As always, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, because I reciprocate good vibes and good energy. And remember, peace and blessings, y'all.